everyone. Thank you for joining me for Chapter Book Storytime, the Variety Pack. I'm Rachel from EVPL Central. So as I'm sure you are aware, we are getting close to that time of year, and by that time of year I mean summer. So it is almost time for our summer reading program to start. It starts this year on June 1st, and you will be able to potentially get some prizes just for reading books, which I think is super awesome, very fun. So every year we put out a list of suggested titles for each age group, and I thought it would be fun to look at one of those titles together today. So we are going to be reading 54 Things Wrong with Gwendolyn Rogers by Caela Carter. And to start this one off, I think I'm just going to read what it says about the book in the front flap. Alrighty, let's get started. No one can figure out what Gwendolyn Rogers' problem is. Not her mom, or her teachers, or any of the many therapists she's seen. But Gwendolyn knows she doesn't have just one thing wrong with her. She has 54. She knows this because she read a confidential school report. Number 16, sneaky. The 54 things are why she loses her pencils every day. Number 45, forgetful. And has fights with her mom about her braids being too loose. Number 25, picky about her appearance, and has lost all of her friends except for Hetty. Number 6, socially inept. But now, if Gwendolyn doesn't get these 54 things under control, she's not going to be able to go to horse camp this summer with her half-brother Tyler, so she needs a plan. But Tyler can't help her because he has only one thing wrong with him, ADHD. And Hetty can't help her because Hetty has nothing wrong with her. She's perfect. So Gwendolyn is hopeless until she remembers there was one thing that helped her mother when her own life was out of control. Actually, 12 things. Can these 12 steps that cured her mother somehow cure Gwendolyn too? Alrighty, let's find out, shall we? If I can get that right. Alrighty. Chapter 1, Heart Splinters. Cupcake. My mom's soft voice and her hand on the back of my head startled me awake. I jumped so high, I almost hit the ceiling. You fell asleep with your light on again, Mom says, stroking my hair. I wiggle my hand from where it was resting on my pillow and snake it down under my comforter until I feel the pages. Still there, still hidden. My heartbeat evens out, and I'm able to talk to my mom in my regular voice. Sorry, I say, I was reading. I pat the book next to me on my pillow. It's some corny book about middle school popular crowds and crushes, and I'd never read it. But Mom bought it for me at the school book fair, so I keep it there on my pillow to distract from what I'm really reading at night. It's okay, honey, Mom says, but now you should turn your light off. You get better rest that way. Okay, I say. Mom can't turn my light off because my bed is lofted and she's standing on the ladder leading up to it. The reading light is above my head, attached to the other side of my bed. The lofted bed was the perfect solution when I started to get homework and wanted a desk in my tiny room. My desk and my chair and Mr. Jojo's tank fit perfectly under my bed, and there's still enough room by the windows for Zombie and Marshmallow's aquarium. But it does make it difficult to get in and out of bed in the middle of the night. Turn it off, okay, honey? Mom says. She sounds tired. Her eyes are red. She pushes her bangs off her forehead like she has a headache. Which she does. She always does. Because she cries. She always cries. I make her cry. She thinks I don't know because she waits until I'm in this lofted bed to start crying. But I hear her while I read my list. I hand Mom the book, which is how I pretend I'm going to turn the light off when she leaves the room. But luckily, Mom never comes back to check if I actually turn it off. Will you tuck me in tighter? I wait till she's off the ladder to ask her so I don't have to see the way the etches in her tired face get deeper when she hears the question. Oh, Gwendolyn, really? It's almost midnight. I make her so tired. It helps me sleep, I say. I don't know how anyone sleeps the way people do in movies and TV, and my mom always seemed to sleep. Like the blankets are resting on top of them and can slide in any direction at any minute. Usually it takes longer to convince her, but Mom must realize she never gets away without tucking me in tighter, because she climbs up the ladder again and reaches the bottom of my mattress, pulling my sheets and blankets snug around my feet. She does the same with the top and folds the sheet exactly under my chin. I can still wiggle my toes a little though. Tighter, I say. Mom sighs, but does it. Then she kisses my forehead, and I try not to wince at the way her bangs brush the bridge of my nose. As soon as she leaves the room, I pull my hand out from under the blankets and spread the pages in front of my face. I leave my light on. I hear Mr. Jojo running around his cage beneath me. I love having a hamster. I love that someone is awake with me when I read this list in the middle of the night. The pages are delicate because I shuffle through them constantly, and I carry them with me everywhere, every day. I have to. Reminding myself is the only way I'll ever get better. Tonight the papers are warm and guilty from being under my blankets. I have to sneak them because even though it was about me, I was never supposed to read that old IEP educational assessment report when the school mailed it home. But I did read it. Then I wrote a list. Now I have a list. And now I need the list. Even though it's wrong and bad like everything else I do and everything else I need. I wiggle to my side, careful not to let the blanket loosen too much, and start over from the top, reading until my eyes get heavy. 54 things wrong with Gwendolyn Rogers. Number 1, too demanding. Number 2, picky eater. Number 3, attention seeking. Number 4, lazy. Number 5, will only do what she wants to do. Number 6, socially inept. My eyes close. I'll start again at number 7 tomorrow. The next day, it's a regular, normal day, and we're on the way to school, and Mom is talking. The mornings are always best because I haven't had a chance to mess anything up yet. My list is folded up super tiny and tucked inside my shoe as always. I try to focus on the way it's poking into the arch of my foot. Sometimes when I focus on one thing, bam, then I can magically focus on something else. Today it's not working. I'm trying to pay attention, but Mom's words dance around my brain like brown and gray horses galloping in red and pink saddles. "Oh, Mom!" I say, launching my head between the front seats of our car. I like to sit in the middle of the back because that means I'm farthest from all the windows, but I can see all of them at the same time. "I forgot to tell you something." "Gwendolyn, you just interrupted me," Mom says. Number 14, constantly interrupting. Number 22, talks too much. "No, I didn't," I say. Number 28, argumentative. Maybe I did interrupt, but there was so much going on in my brain before my mom started talking. It felt like she was interrupting me. Anyway, do you know what my brother said? Mom sighs. "I really need you to pay attention. What I'm saying is important." I didn't answer her because what I have to say is important too. I imagined Dandelion, my favorite horse, the one I used to ride all the time. I imagined what her hair felt like when I would run a brush over it. "What did Tyler say?" Mom finally asks. "And after you tell me, please listen to what I'm saying." "Okay," I say. "You know Tyler is in Power Kids with me, right? He does the summer camps too, like me. And he said this year there's going to be a whole week at Cressings Farms. And anyone who wants, for any..." "Okay," I say. "You know Tyler is in Power Kids with me too, right? He does the summer camps too, like me. And he said that this year there's going to be a whole week at Cressings Farms for anyone who wants to learn to ride horses. He's going to do it and I want to do it too. Sign me up, okay?" Mom gets quiet, like she always does when I talk about Tyler, which isn't fair. He's my brother, even if Mom doesn't like it. We turn right, and the trees and fields we've been driving past disappear behind the buildings of downtown Madison. We're almost at school. "Honey," Mom says, I've told you I'm not ready to discuss this summer yet. We have to concentrate on this afternoon first. I need you to be on your best behavior and power kids after school today, okay? And you get to brush them, I say. Brush what? Mom says. The horses! We aren't talking about horses, G. We need to talk about this afternoon. You know, I used to brush Dandelion, I say. I really don't want to discuss Dandelion, Mom says. Bad memories flood my body, making me shivering cold and chasing the good warm ones away. I don't know why she had to do that. Mom never lets me have the good memories without bringing up the bad ones. She knows I'll remember, even if she doesn't bring it up. Number 50. Demonstrates a strong working memory, but is unable to use it to her advantage. Number 54. Above average intelligence, but not so much as to be exceptional. Neither of us says anything for too long, and it gets colder and colder in the car. Well, I liked to brush her, I say finally. Gwendolyn, Mom says like I said something terrible. We have to talk about power kids, okay? I need you to focus. And number 7, inattentive. I know, best behavior, I know. You say it every day. Mom does say it every day. Power Kids is our after-school program, and in the summer it turns into a camp. Or a lot of different camps. And if you're a power kid, you get to choose which one you want to go to week to week to week. I've been a power kid for a long time because Power Kids ran the after-school program at my elementary school too, and I love it. I do love it, even if I'm terrible at it. I'm also sometimes not a good student or daughter or person in general, but Mom mostly talks about Power Kids. I don't know why, and I also don't ask her because I don't like to talk about the things inside me that jump and poke and make me not good. Mom turns left and pulls around the outside of my school. I say the same thing every day, but then I get calls. I know, I'll be good, okay? How do I know that? Mom asks as she parks the car in the parking lot. I don't know how she knows that. I don't even know how I know that. But I do know that right now, I'm not going to get in trouble today. Because I heard you, I say. You heard me, Mom says. Yes, I say. So you'll behave today because you heard me. Yes, I say. Does that mean you didn't hear me the other days? Mom, Gwenny, Mom mimics my tone. Can I go to horse camp? I blurt. Number 10, no filter. That one means I don't watch what I say. Mom sighs. Cupcake, she says, then stops. What? I say, I want to go to horse camp. That's just 1 week of the summer. Please. Mom shakes her head and gives me a little smile. I love you, she says, no matter what. I tilt my head at her. I love you is nice, but I don't know what the what is and no matter what. Now listen to me. You know how to behave, right? Right, I say. Mom is always asking me if I know how to behave, and I do. Like, if anyone were to give me a test, like a math test, on how to behave, I would get 100%. But I sometimes don't behave anyway, and I don't know why I don't behave, but I could totally get 100% on any sort of behaving test. So when adults ask me if I know how to behave, I just say yes. I'd rather think about horses. I spot a purple backpack in the group of students crowding around the school entrance. Tyler! I call. Mom flinches. She says she's flinching because I'm loud, but I know it's also partly because she doesn't want me to love my brother the way I love my brother. He can't hear you, Gwen. The windows are closed. Mom says. I know, I say. Even though it's April, it's freezing and there's still snow on the ground. That's life in Wisconsin. I'm always asking Mom if I can move to Florida or Arizona, and she thinks it's because I hate the cold, but that's only a little bit of it. It's mostly because I hate losing my gloves at school every day and then having Mom yell at me because my gloves are lost again. I watch a tiny, faraway Tyler run up the school steps and then back down. I open the car door and start to run. "Gwen!" I hear behind me. "Gwen!" I turn. Mom is standing outside the car. "You forgot something," she says. "Oh yeah," I say. I run back and throw my arms around her. A hug. "Bye, Mom!" "That's nice," she says, "but I also meant this." She holds up my blue backpack, the one full of all the homework I did yesterday. All the homework we fought about last night. "Oh," I say. Mom sighs and shakes her head, and a little piece of my heart breaks off and falls, sharp, down my torso and legs, all the way into my heels. I disappointed her. Again. "Have a good day," she says, "and behave." Then she gets in the car and she's gone. The disappointment splinter is small this time. It was just one disappointed look. It's small enough that I can ignore it sticking in my foot as I run across the parking lot toward my brother. But I worry that my heart is breaking apart so much is the reason I'm having trouble being a whole person sometimes. A good person. A person who acts like she would get 100% on a behavior quiz. I wish I could stop disappointing my mom. I wish I could stop getting in trouble. I wish I could be the kind of kid whose mom says yes right away when she asks about horse camp with Tyler or hanging out with Hetty. But I'm not that kind of kid. I'm a splinter heart kid. Chapter 2, Anger and His Shell. At outdoor break a few hours later, Tyler and I sit huddled under the big oak tree in the schoolyard. Outdoor break is the middle school word for recess. It means the school forces us to go outside for half an hour after we eat lunch. They used to even call it recess, Tyler says, but then a lot of kids complained about being treated like babies and being forced to play outside even in the freezing winter. Well, they still make us go outside, and all they changed was the name. So I think I'm supposed to hate outdoor break like some of my classmates do, but I actually don't mind it. We go to a charter school, which means they do things a little differently. Most of the kids from my elementary school go here too, but Tyler went to private elementary school. This has been my outdoor break routine, Tyler and the big oak tree, since I first found out he was my long-lost brother in the beginning of 5th grade. In 4th grade, I spent recess with Hetty and her friends. It's okay though, because I still spend most of Power Kids with Hetty, because her other friends go home after school. Hetty is my only friend. Number 6, socially inept. Kids are running in every direction around us, and Tyler is sitting on his heels, bouncing up and down, and the bare branches above us are shaking in the wind, making patterns on his face, my eyes, and build the glass wall. It's pretend, but that doesn't mean it's not important. I make it go from the ground behind Tyler's feet up to the tree branches. I make it a circle so it grows around me, and Tyler and the tree. And sure, no one else knows it's there except me, but it fixes everything anyway, because my brother and I are alone inside this glass tube with our tree, and all of the commotion is outside, and I can finally hear him. "The best one is midnight," he's saying. I can hear him, but I still have no clue what he's talking about. Number 7, inattentive. "Will you redo my braids?" I ask him. Back in the fall, he started doing that for me every day at outdoor break. At first, I didn't think he'd be able to get them as tight as Mom does, but Tyler loves to do hair, and he's really good at it. He can almost always get them tighter. Number 25, picky about her appearance. Every morning, my mom folds my blonde hair into twin French braids, because that's the only way my head feels right. Otherwise, it feels all loose, and I can't concentrate with all the pulling on my skull. I always have to tell Mom to redo them tighter, and she tells me we're going to be late to school, or wherever we're going, and I tell her I can't go to school or wherever we're going with loose braids, and eventually, she does them tight enough, and then we're late, or almost late to school, and then, by the middle of the day, my braids are too loose again anyway. Number 5, will only do what she wants to do. Number 31, poor sense of time. "Sure," Tyler says. He kneels behind me, and I start to feel the tug of my hair pulling my ear closer to the top of my head. I sigh with relief. Tyler's own jitters calm down with the pulling and twisting, so it's easier to understand him. We haven't talked about it, but I've noticed. Tyler's like me. There's something wrong with him too. He has the same thing inside him, poking and jumping and turning him into a bad kid all the time. He's a splinter heart kid too. Those bad, pokey things, they must come from our dad. Neither of us have ever met our dad, at least not that we can remember, but he's still what makes us brother and sister. Did you talk to your mom about horse camp? Tyler asks, excited. Yeah, I say. It didn't go well. It didn't? Tyler sounds alarmed. He does this thing with his tongue where he sticks out the side of his mouth and sort of clicks. He always does that when he's nervous, and sometimes Hetty says mean things about it behind his back, but I don't mind the clicking because he's my brother. What does your mom say? I ask. I didn't get to see her yesterday, Tyler says. His mom works at the university like mine, although I didn't realize that until this fall. It isn't surprising though, because it feels like almost every adult in this town works at the university. But I guess my mom didn't even know Tyler's mom also lived in Madison, Wisconsin until this fall, when we ran into each other at back to school night, and my mom's jaw dropped so far you could see all the way down her throat. She told me later that she never thought she'd see Mrs. Christakis again. She told me that she didn't think I needed to know Tyler, since she had never considered that there was a chance he could actually be in my life. She told me that she had no idea his mom was sort of her coworker for years. My mom used a strange voice when she said all this, and she spoke in shorter sentences than she usually does. It was weird. The things that are wrong with my mom are different from the things that are wrong with me, which means my mom has a filter, which means I don't know how much of that story is the exact absolute truth. And even though our moms work at the same place, it's different because Tyler's mom works as a professor in the psychology department and sometimes ends up working all night long. They live in a big house with people Tyler calls au pairs and housekeepers. So I think she makes a lot of money. My mom works for the admissions department, and Mom and I live in a 2-bedroom apartment that can fit inside Tyler's living room. I think that part makes Mom mad, but I like our apartment better than their big stone house. It doesn't matter though, Tyler is saying. I know my mom will say yes. She loves when I want to do anything outside. Really? I ask. She'll say yes no matter what? I can feel my hair go up and down as Tyler shrugs. Why wouldn't she? Tyler asks. But I trail off. I don't want to say it. I don't think Tyler wants me to say it. Before I can help it, the words are out of my mouth. Number 10, no filter. But what about what happened yesterday? Tyler and I talk about animals and braids, and I listen while he talks about outer space and dinosaurs and ninjas and video games. We don't talk about the biggest sign that he's my brother. We don't talk about the things inside of us that jump and poke and make us into bad kids. We aren't usual brother-sister, not like my best friend Hetty and her younger brother Nolan, who live in the same house and get on each other's nerves all the time, but who are also sort of like partners because they've been together as long as anyone can remember. Tyler and I are siblings because of a stranger. Tyler's in 6th grade, and I'm in 5th, so he's a year older than me. But it seems like I matter to him as much as he matters to me. We both only had a mom and no one else in our family until we found each other. Our moms know we love each other, but they don't understand why it matters so much to have a sibling. What do you mean, he asks. What happened yesterday? I move my head against the pressure of the braids he's currently pulling on. You know, at Power Kids. I'm talking about what I saw from the 5th grade table. I'm talking about when Tyler purposefully slammed his foot down on Miss Haley's toes and then ran away when he was supposed to be playing chess. His brain cracked. When my brain cracks, my mom says no to everything. Horse camp, vacations, hanging out with Hetty or Tyler, dessert, my iPad, everything. Tyler's brain cracked, but he still thinks his mom will say yes to horse camp? Tyler shrugs. She doesn't know about that, he says. My face burns. Miss Haley didn't call your mom? I ask. Miss Haley is like the boss of Power Kids, and she always calls my mom. She always calls my mom. Tyler shrugs. He changes the subject. He doesn't like to talk about being bad. It's like being bad is just one thing about him, and not everything about him. There used to be other things about me too, and there still are, I guess. My pets, Hetty, Tyler, but the 54 things make it so hard to find any of the good stuff anymore. I'm going to that horse camp. It's so much better than the pathetic regular day camp option Power Kids does. Is that the one your mom wants you to go to? Yeah, I say. Well, you can't. You have to come with me. I want to, I say. The braids are tighter now, and that feels good, but other things feel bad, and I'm worried anger is going to wake up. He's going to come out from his shell and ruin my day. He's red and triangular with big googly eyes, and when things are going okay, he sleeps in his white circular shell in my left rib cage, and when they aren't, I can't stop him from waking up and poking his way out of his shell and shoving his pointy body all over my organs until I can't control anything, not even my own self. It's not enough to want to go, Tyler says. Promise me you'll come. I can't. My mom didn't answer. She just kept telling me to behave. Then you have to be good, Tyler says. He's almost yelling as he snaps the final rubber band into place. I think he maybe snapped it a little too hard. Poke, poke, poke. Anger jumps inside me. My rib cage is on fire. Please, Tyler says, like he didn't hear any of what I just said about not being up to me at all. Anger jumps faster, harder. My insides are getting scratched up and achy. The only way to slow anger down is to speed up the rest of me. I need to move. Number 30, fidgety. I jump to my feet. I'll race you to the other tree, I say. Tyler startles a little, and I realize I was louder than I meant to be. Horse camp, he says. He never wants to run, at least not when I do. What did Nina say exactly? Nina is my mom. I call Tyler's mom Miss Christakos, but he calls mine Nina. I'm still working on figuring out why, but so far my eavesdropping hasn't answered that question at all. I don't remember exactly, I say. Tell me, he says. Poke, poke. I shake my arms and legs. I need to move now. To the tree and back. Ready? Tyler can't see the glass wall I built in front of us, but I can. It's going to feel so good to run right through it and send shards of my imagination flying sharp through the schoolyard. Tyler stands with me. He leans in so his face is right next to mine. We're siblings and you can see it, but you have to look closely. We're both white, but Tyler's half Greek and I'm not, so his skin is darker than mine. His hair is jet black and thick and sits in a pile of curls on his head, while mine is blonde and would be pinned straight if I ever took it out of my braids. He has a higher forehead and I have a smattering of freckles all over my cheeks and chin. Our siblingness is in the smooth slope of our nose and the yellow specks in our hazel eyes. It's in the gap between our front teeth and the half dimple that shows up on our left cheeks, but only when we're really happy. I like when Tyler stands close enough for me to count these brother clues on his face. She said something about after school, didn't she? Tyler demands, because he's not the only one who got in trouble at Power Kids yesterday. I shrug. I want to race, I say. It happens with everyone. As soon as I really need to move, people insist on talking to me. Tyler grabs my wrist. Gwendolyn, you have to be good, okay? His voice is pleading. You know your mom won't let you go to horse camp or see me at all if you aren't good. Something about the desperation in his voice makes anger wiggle back into his shell. I want to tell Tyler that he knows about the creatures who live inside us. He knows I can't be good when I'm just plain bad. But it doesn't matter if Tyler's a bad kid. Even if he stomps on people's feet, we still get to see each other. It's me that matters. I'm the one who has to be good so that we can be together. I do a quick whole body shake to get out the worst wiggles. I manage to slip anger back into his shell without him cracking my brain. I know. I will, I say. I have to be good. I have to. For Tyler. I'm still thinking about everything Tyler said later that day at Power Kids. I'm going to be good today. I just know it. At free time, Hetty asks if I want to play basketball, like we have the past few days. I love playing basketball, but it's too risky. If I have the ball when free time is over, Anger gets so mad that I have to stop playing, and he might crack my brain. We need something safer today. I ask Hetty if we can do a swing jumping contest like we used to do in 4th grade. At first I'm afraid she'll say that's too nerdy or babyish because no one uses the swings here in elementary school. I ask Hetty if we can do a swing jumping contest like we used to in 4th grade. At first I'm afraid she'll say it's too nerdy or babyish because no one uses the swings here, when in elementary school you had to wait hours to get a short turn. But Hetty never says anything like that. She says swing jumping is perfect. We take turns jumping off the swings for a while. Then we start just plain swinging. I love it. Inside my head I'm chanting, no trouble, no trouble, no trouble today. The words whoosh in my ears as the swing goes up and down and up and down. Everything is in perfect harmony for once, even me. My brain makes up a song and it falls into rhythm with the pendulum of the swing. No trouble, no trouble, no trouble today. Up and down, down and up and down, down and up. I love the way the wind rushes past my face, pushing my newly tightened braids backwards as my swing goes down, forward. I love how the motion throws my braids up over my shoulders as I start the backward descent. I love the weak April sun on my cheeks and the chain of the swing making indents into my palms. I love the feeling of blisters starting to work their way out onto the top of my skin. I love the colors that rush past my eyes, brighter with each swing. Green of the grass, blue of the sky, white of the clouds, yellow of Hetty's shirt. I love Hetty's legs matching mine, pump for pump. I love her voice chatting next to me about something and anything, even though I can't hear the words right now. Up and down, down and up and down, down and up. No trouble, no trouble, no trouble. Gwendolyn, now! Miss Haley is yelling. The words jam their way right into everything like an ice chip that gets stuck in your straw just when you're getting to the sweetest sip of lemonade. The colors aren't as bright. The blisters start to hurt. My thoughts are jumbled. Can't stop. Keep pumping. Keep pumping. Number 20. Cannot manage transitions. Trouble. No. No trouble. Something today. The rhythm is gone. Gwendolyn, I told you 3 times already. She's lying. I don't even know what she's trying to tell me. If she told me something 3 times, I would know what it is by now. Miss Haley is standing as close to my swing as she can without getting kicked every time I go forward. She seems like she's trying to step even closer, but she can't because I don't stop swinging. Right now, everything is colors and wind and sun, and if I stop, it will all just poof away, and I might just poof away with it. Now, Gwendolyn, she says again. I managed to make my voice work. 2 more minutes, I say. 2 minutes means I can slow down. I can let the colors fade back to normal. I can let the wind gradually get weaker on my face. I can turn back into regular Gwendolyn, who doesn't fly, instead of having my wings ripped off. No, Miss Haley says. I'm supposed to get 5 more minutes, I yell. If Miss Madeline were here, that's what she would do. She always gives me 5 minutes after telling me to get off the swing or stop whatever else I was doing. She knows that everything needs to change slowly for me, especially if I was just moving quickly. But Miss Madeline is out sick today, and Miss Haley doesn't know anything. I already gave you 5 minutes. I told you 5 minutes almost 15 minutes ago. And she lies. She never gave me 5 minutes. I feel the white shell behind my ribcage starting to rattle. Anger is waking up. I try to slow the swing, but that makes Anger rattle even harder. Now, she yells. I keep pumping because I know if I stop, he will definitely wake up and I don't want him to. I can't let my brain crack, not today. Horse camp. I remind myself. What? Miss Haley says, even though it's none of her business. Gwendolyn, get down now. I pump a little slower. Horse camp, I whisper. Just get off the swing. You can do it. What? Miss Haley says, if you're talking to me, I can't hear you. I'm not talking to you, I shout. The words fly out of me. Anger throws them. Gwendolyn, Miss Haley screams. If she would just be a little quieter, I could focus. I could do this. Gwendolyn, she says even louder. I'm coming. I am. I'm coming the way I know how to. I was pumping like pump, 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 pump. So I start instead like pump, 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 pump. And next I will do pump, 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 pump. And then I'll be ready to go inside. Miss Madeline knows that. And Miss Haley should know that too. Your legs are still moving, Miss Haley says. Duh, I'm coming, I yell back. Stop lying to me, Gwendolyn. This is unacceptable. But I'm not lying. She's the liar. Anger rattles his shell harder. Gwendolyn, I said now, Miss Haley screams. I pump, but more slowly. I'm trying, I say. No, you are not. Her voice is high and desperate. Her face is red. Get off that swing right this instant. This is unacceptable. You aren't listening. Anger breaks through his shell and digs his red, pointy head between two of my right ribs and stabs me there so it hurts, and I have to yell. I'm slowing down. Duh! Can't you just stop? You can't just stop a swing, stupid. Excuse me? Miss Haley says. Anger's favorite meal is other people's anger. He's eating Miss Haley's now. He's sucking her anger right out of her brain like spaghetti. He's swelling between my ribs and they start to ache. If you're not off the swing by a count of 3, I'm calling your mother, Miss Haley says. 3? No, I can't be off the swing by 3. I'd have to jump. I'd have to let everything go from moving to still. I speed up, pumping faster. No, I yell. Yes, she yells. 1. Stop it, I scream, stop counting. My legs go faster. They're supposed to be slowing down. Anger sinks into them and makes them go as fast as they possibly can. 2. Anger jumps on my stomach. Stop it! My voice screeches. My legs go pump, pump, pump like anger wants them to. 3, Miss Haley yells. Anger uses my stomach like a springboard. He vaults up my throat and lodges his pointy head into my brain. Sirens sound inside my skull. Then there's nothing except noise and speed. Crack. Okay. I think that is where we're going to have to end it. I wish we did not and had more time. I'm so interested to see what happens next. I really, really hope that Gwendolyn can find some understanding of herself as well as find understanding in others, and I hope you, like me, will want to continue reading this book. Like I said, it is on our summer reading suggested list. Our summer reading program, Growing Stories, starts June 1st. You can give us a call or come pick up a copy at any of our locations. This is also available as an ebook on Libby and as an audiobook on CD. I want to thank you all for joining me today, and I will see you next time. Bye.